Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rebooted MCU. Today we are here with the Rebooted MCU Phase 4 Part 5. We have a crazy episode today, so without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. The fifth project of Rebooted MCU is The Incredible Hulk, The Ever-Loving Hulks. The movie opens up with a familiar yet unknown voice which says, "So Bruce, tell me, what have you been feeling lately?" We cut to see Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo, lying down in a chair looking upwards. "Well, I'm an Avenger. I saved the world from Thanos. I made good friendships. Steven, Wong, Tony, Helen. Rekindle my relationship with Jen. I haven't made it work with the big guy. When I transform into him, we become connected as one. Less angry, more control. Yet despite all this progress, I still feel scarred from the past. I have this image of civilians screaming at me in the street. They see me fighting Blonsky. They're terrified. I don't know if I can ever shake that feeling. As much as I try, I just can't. Well, Bruce, I applaud your progress. I'm very proud to be your friend." The man is revealed to be Doc Samson, played by James McAvoy. Bruce sits up and smiles as Samson continues. "However, I think our session is over. There's somebody waiting outside for you, and if there's one thing I know about the Hulk family, they don't like waiting. It makes them angry." Bruce chuckles as he stands up, hugs Samson, and walks outside where we see Jennifer Walters, played by Tatiana Maslany, sitting in the car. She says, "Come on, Bruce, this trip has been years in the making. Let's go." Bruce waves to Samson and says, "Jen and I are going away for a few weeks. We're going to drive Route 66, something we've wanted to do since we were kids. I'll see you when I get back." As Bruce gets in the car, Samson waves and says, "Have fun, you two." As Jen drives away, the theme of the movie begins to play, Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire, as a montage of Jen and Bruce driving begins. Cut to further along in the trip as we hear Bruce and Jennifer laughing. Bruce says, "Okay, so tell me, any interesting court cases lately?" Bruce, you know that is a wild breach of attorney-client privilege. But I did have this DUI case, so I went up against a super difficult opposing lawyer. His name, get this, was Franklin Nelson, but his nickname is Foggy. Crazy, right? "Jen, look out!" Bruce screams to see a space pod crashing to Earth. As Jen attempts to swerve out of the way, the car crashes and we see broken glass and the car flipped over. Jen begins bleeding out of her arm, and we also see that Bruce is bleeding. And we also see that some of the blood from Bruce's cut has fallen into Jen's arm. "Oh no," says Bruce. Bruce scrambles for his phone. "I have to call Helen, and probably Fury as well," as we see an injured creature lying in the pod. Cut to a laboratory room where we see Jen sitting in a hospital bed. As she looks around, she says, "What happened?" "Well, dear, a space pod from all accounts crashed into the path in which you and Bruce were driving on, and, well, you might now have blood that's contaminated with gamma radiation." "What? When? Why? How? Who the heck are you?" "My name is Dr. Helen Cho, played by Michelle Yeoh. I'm a friend of your cousin's. I'm an expert in the field of genetics, and I've been helping Bruce with radiation and his transformations into the big guy. Please, don't get your heart rate up." We start to see Jen getting angry, and she begins to turn green as she transforms into a Hulk and crashes the hospital bed and begins running at Helen. We suddenly see as Hulk jumps in the way and begins restraining Jen. Hulk says, "Jen, calm down. It's me, Bruce. You got some of my blood in your body. It's all gonna be okay. Just calm down." Jen stops and says, "Bruce, what the heck is going on?" "Mom, what is going on in our basement?" Camera pans to see a young boy standing in the doorway of the basement in his pajamas. "Amadeus!" screams Helen. "These are my friends, Bruce and Jennifer." The kid is revealed to be Amadeus Cho, played by Ryan Potter. "Bruce, Jennifer, this is my son, Amadeus. He's still in college. He's home for the summer." Amadeus yawns and rubs his eyes. "Ah, so the Hulk and the She-Hulk? Oh, please, kid, come on. She-Hulk? Could you not come up with something more original? Hulk looks at Jen and says, I mean, She-Hulk kind of works, cuz. I hate to say it. Jen rolls her eyes. Fine. She-Hulk, whatever. But kid, there are two Hulks dead in your basement. Why are you not more shocked? Yeah, I was kinda wondering the same thing. Well, Amadeus has been surrounded by science and interesting experiments all his life, and, his brain works a bit different. Mom, please. I'm not shocked because I know this is just a genetic result of someone's blood coming into contact with gamma rays and creating a gamma radiation sort of reaction with one's blood. It's actually kind of like being poisoned, but the chemicals react upon someone when they have high emotions, typically anger, and causes them to transform into a creature. Not monster, I'll say creature. Bruce and Jen stand shocked. Bruce looks at Helen. So, your kid is a genius, huh? Helen smiles and chuckles nervously. Who's hungry? Let's do breakfast. We cut to Bruce, Jen, and Amadeus awkwardly sitting in the kitchen as Helen prepares breakfast. You know, Bruce, it isn't cheap getting a private helicopter out from Washington, D.C. to the middle of nowhere to rescue an Avenger and his cousin. Bruce chuckles awkwardly. Yeah, I appreciate your friendship and doing this for us. So, Helen, you're an expert in gamma radiation, right? So you can find a way to fix me, turn me back into where I could just be angry and not transform into a giant green monster? Unfortunately, once your blood experiences exposure to gamma radiation, there is no turning it back. I studied your blood after we picked you up from the crash site, and quite remarkably, you have a much better control than Bruce did over your actions when you enter into your Hulk state. It took Bruce and I a while for him to get his personality to mix, the Banner and the Hulk, when he transformed into his Hulk form. Well, Bruce had a rough childhood, so I can understand that his emotions might not necessarily be the easiest to control. But back to what you said about me, being able to control this better than old Cuzzy Bruce here, huh? Does that mean that I'm stronger than my dear cousin here? Ha! Not in your life, little fuzzball. Keep dreaming. Hulk is the strongest there is. Bruce is right. You might have better control, but Bruce is much stronger than your She-Hulk transformation. But that could change with training, of course. Learning how to use your anger is something Bruce and I studied at nauseam when we worked together. So, Miss Walters, I was thinking, since you don't like the name She-Hulk, maybe we can call you the Savage instead? As much as I love your little nicknames, Amadeus, that is a no-go. I'm not going to be fighting crime or kicking butt outside of the courtroom. I went to law school and I still have a crap ton of student loan debt. Last time I checked, my cousin here isn't bringing in the big bucks as a member of the Avengers. Amadeus is right, Jen. The universe gave you a gift and you need to learn how to use it. Might not be fair, but if there is one thing I learned, no gifts are given if they are meant to be placed to the side. Jen sighs. Why don't you go ahead and just call me a mutant? Because it would have been better to have been given a gift in the Golden Awakening than crashing in a car with my cousin and suddenly transforming into the Jolly Green Giant. Oh, wait, Jolly Green Giant! That'd be a great name for your hero! Also, not to brag, but I recently invented this new stretchy material that I can use to make you a super suit. Super durable and flexible, and if my calculations are correct, it should be able to transform along with your body when you turn into the Jolly Green Giant. You know, kid, I know I said I hated it before, but I'm gonna take She-Hulk back over Jolly Green Giant. But enough about me. Bruce, was it just me or was there some creature in that space machine thing? Yeah, there was. The creature's currently with Nick Fury at the SHIELD HQ in DC. It's only like a 20-minute drive from here. Suddenly, Bruce's phone begins to ring. Speak of the devil. It's Nick Fury. Hey, Nick. What's up? You need to get down here as fast as you can. One of your old friends heard we have an alien in our facility and he's coming down. Cousin is a lawyer, right? Yeah, she's pretty good, too. Well, bring her too. I think our old pal, President Thunderhead, is about to break the law trying to keep this thing for his own use. Bruce hangs up, looks at Jen, and says, We have to go. Cut to the SHIELD facility in DC where we see Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Maria Hill, played by Colby Smulders, looking at the creature who has been contained in a capsule similar to the one Loki was trapped in during the first Avengers film. Maria looks at Fury. Are you sure this is a Skrull? Seems a little too big to be a Skrull. From all accounts, aren't they supposed to be similar size to humans? I know this is a Skrull. Yes, he is bigger than the Skrulls that you and I know, but there's no mistaking it. Hey you, what's your name, creature? Don't you dare talk to me like that, you foul creature. I am Prince Doric, played by Nicholas Hamilton. Prince of the Skrull Empire. I was captured and experimented on by the Skrull separatists. Who are you with? Darben? The Annihilation Wave? Does not matter. I will escape this capsule of confinement and destroy those who experimented on me. We watch Doric slam into the capsule, but he bounces back as the room shakes. Why did Captain Marvel not warn us about these separatist Skrulls? She did. I tried to reach her since, but she's out protecting the Wubo people from an attempted invasion. I need to contact Talos as soon as possible. As he says this, we see Bruce and Jennifer walk into the room. They are talking to each other as they enter. I mean, the New York dating scene just sucks, man. I've been on so many dates and just yuck. Trust me, I know a guy who's your type. When we get back, I'll set you guys up. Fury, Hill, how are we? Banner, it's good to see you again. Miss Walters, it's nice to make your acquaintance. I called you here because suddenly the doors open and we see President Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford, CIA Director Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Abigail Brand, played by Emilia Clarke, walk into the room. Ross says, So, Fury, you kept an alien from me. I had to come as soon as the word got to me that there is some mysterious crash landing. And lucky me. It appears Mr. Banner is somehow involved as well. Look, Mr. President, I'm not looking for any trouble. Oh, I'm not looking to do anything with you just yet, Bruce. After all, it would be awful press for me to attempt to arrest one of Earth's mightiest heroes after he saved the world from that purple freak. Then what are you doing here? We watch Val walking around the capsule. Wow, this creature is a physical specimen, that's for sure. Wings, muscle, could be quite the powerhouse. How dare you mock the Prince of the Skrulls that way? I will get you for that. He's a feisty one, that's for sure. He might make a great addition to a special government task force. You can't be serious. We have no idea what this creature is or where he came from. Sir, I have to agree with Director Hill on this one. It is unwise to use a newly captured creature from space in a task force. I appreciate the concern, Director Hill and Director Brand, but I'm not someone who is scared of risks. The Sokovia Accords have been repealed, and there is nobody who is prepared to protect us in the event of an attack. You saw that Captain America and his band of misfit toys couldn't even stop a low-level group of thugs from killing my predecessor. That is why I come with a bargain. I'm a fair man after all, Bruce. Either you become my soldier, or I take this creature in and use it instead. You can't be serious. You tried to kill me multiple times, Thaddeus. I know not to trust you. You were a threat to society, Banner, and well, I still believe that is the case. Public opinion has changed quite a bit, but since we seem to have a disagreement here, I guess this creature's coming with me. Hold on, President Ross. With all due respect, you simply cannot take a sovereign creature like this under governmental custody without permission. Do you have a fully executed warrant for his confinement, or has this creature expressly agreed to do work for you on behalf of the United States government? Well, no, but Who are you? My name is Jennifer Walters, attorney at law. I'm licensed in New York, California, and the District of Columbia, and as of right now, I've accepted representation of this creature, and as his attorney, I'd like to request that you provide documentation to prove that you have a right to custody of my client before we proceed any further. Ross laughs. You're a slick one. I want my way, but I do have great respect for the law, so give me a bit, I'll be back, and your little lawyering won't be able to keep him away from me for much longer. We see Ross and Val turn to walk away. Brand looks at Fury and says, I'm sorry, Nick. I tried everything I could. He's persistent. Nick nods as Brand turns and walks away. Bruce turns to Jen and says, Fuzzball, that was brilliant. You really are a great lawyer. Yeah, well, that's why I get paid the big bucks. Speaking of which, Do you think Helen is going to be mad if we bring a giant green creature from outer space to her house? Cut outside as we see Ross and Val walking together. Ross looks to her and says, "Call Dr. Clive. I think it's time that we move forward with that vat of Banner's blood. Time is of the essence." We cut to Helen's home as we hear a knock on the door. Helen and Amadeus go to answer as we see Bruce standing outside with a sheepish grin. He says, "So, Helen, I have some great additional company for you. They're great people. It's a long story, but, you're a great friend, and I just wanted to remind you of that." As Banner walks in, he is followed by Jen, Fury, Hill, and Doric, who is being held in cuffs. Amadeus stands in shock and says, "Wow, Mom, your friends are awesome." "Yeah, great." Cut to a few minutes later as we see Doric, Jen, Bruce, Fury, and Hill sitting around the table. Hill is putting something on a tablet as Doric looks around. "This place, it is quaint. Nothing like what we have on Skrullos." "Skrullos? Where exactly are you from, dude?" "1 minute, Jen. Hill, is it ready?" "Yes, here it is." Hill places a tablet in front of Doric, and we see Talos by Ben Mendelsohn appear on the screen as he says, "Oh my, Prince Doric, you're alive. My, Talos, friend of my mother, how did you get captured in such a tiny device? How am I speaking to you?" "I'm fine. I'm communicating from a remote location. People you are with, they're my friends. You can trust them. You're on the planet Earth. These people, they're friends with Marvel." "Marvel! Ah, yes, Marvel, the most popular of all the heroes on Skrullos." We see Fury walk behind Doric. "So, Talos, I'm okay to release him?" "Oh, yes. He's Skrull royalty, after all." We see Fury release Doric from his handcuffs as Fury continues. "Talos, I have to ask. This guy is Skrull royalty. What is he doing on Earth?" "Well, Nick, as I told you during the blip, Skrullos fell into chaos, and there is a group of Skrulls that decided to break away from the rest of our civilization. The Separatists. We didn't know much about them until they captured Prince Doric, the son of our Queen Enel, as an act of war. These Separatists believe that Queen Enel has been far too passive in her leadership, allowing villains like Thanos, Annihilus, and other creatures to wreak havoc on Skrull kind and the galaxy at large. They've attempted to create a new type of Skrull, a Super Skrull, one that would possess immense power, never before imaginable to the likes of Skrull kind, and use it to conquer the universe." "Universe?" "Yes, the universe. At first we thought the group was mainly frustrated with the leadership of Queen Enel, but now we know it is because they believe in Skrull superiority. Rumor has it that they performed the first test on Prince Doric, and it failed." "Huh! They believe it failed. I feel more powerful than ever before, albeit a bit weird." "I'm not sure what the impact of the experiment will be on these Skrulls, but if it is as powerful as it is stated to be, the entire universe will pray that Captain Marvel comes around to defend them." Bruce looks to Jen and says, "I told you. You got your gift for a reason." Cut to a secret laboratory inside the White House as we see Dr. Jeffrey Clive, played by Brian Stepanek, running some tests on his computer. As suddenly we watch as President Ross and Val walk to the laboratory as Clive turns to them and says, "Ah, President Ross, Director Val, how are we doing today?" "Save the pleasantries, Clive. I'm here for the experiment." "Sir, I must say, while I appreciate your dedication to this and your ideals as a whole, this is extremely dangerous." Ross chuckles. "I appreciate the concern for my well-being, Dr. Clive, but I'm not paying you to worry about my health. I'm paying you to ensure that I can survive this test. Did you consult with the expert that I told you about?" "Why, yes, sir. She should be here any minute. She requests to have a word with you." As he says this, the door swings open as we see Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler, burst into the laboratory and screams, "Dad, have you lost your mind?" "Ah, sweetie, I haven't seen you in ages. How are you, darling?" "Father, this obsession with Bruce is getting old now. You're willing to become the very thing you've sought to destroy just to get back at him? For becoming a creature that he didn't even want to become? What's your deal?" "Betty, the Hulk, Banner, is a monster. He's a nuclear warhead that could easily destroy all of life on this Earth if he wanted to. Do you think we have anyone to stop him? Captain America? The Thunder God, the Insect Kid from New York, all of them would be wiped out if Hulk wanted them gone. I'm but a human, and I can't protect this country, this world, unless we have the Hulk, or a creature like the Hulk on our side. I'll become one, defeat Bruce, and force him to work for us. I understand your attachment to him, so I'll spare his life, but I also want to get the alien. Betty, there's an entire galaxy, universe out there that could have monsters like the one who wiped out half of all life. I need to know what there is out there. Hulk is a threat to humanity, yes, but my concern is, what if there is something out there that is a bigger threat than the Hulk? Betty sighs. You are unbelievable, Dad. Bruce has proven it to you before. He will protect the people of this planet. You don't have to force him to. Then I'm doing it to get the creature. Either way, Bruce is something I'm after, and I will get it from him. Clive, get it over with. Watch as Clive takes a syringe and inserts it into Ross's arm and injects a substance that has been mixed with Banner's blood into Ross's arm. Ross begins to wheeze and feel lightheaded as he turns to Val and quickly says, Track Fury's location. Tell me where he is. I know he's with Bruce and, well, I need to pay him a visit. We cut back to the Cho household as we see Doric and Amadeus eating a pizza together as Bruce, Jen, Fury, Helen, and Hill watch. Doric comments, This dish. It is delightful. What is it called again? Pizza. You really don't have anything like this on your planet? No, but if we did, it would be our greatest creation. Amadeus looks at Jen. Hey, She-Hulk, while you and Bruce were away, I made you a super suit out of the material I was telling you about. Want to give it a try? She-Hulk? Yeah, Director Fury, don't worry about it. And no, kid, I'm not interested in a super suit. Thanks, though. Suddenly we hear a knock on the door. Bruce says that he'll answer it, and as he goes to open it, we see President Ross standing outside. Mr. President, I didn't think you were allowed to leave the White House without your Secret Service detail. Bruce, close the door. You won't want them to see what's about to happen. Bruce steps outside and closes the door. Are you feeling okay? You don't look well. Bruce, I'm going to give you the wager one more time. Either you join me or give me the alien. Your choice. Thaddeus, I think your obsession with me is becoming a bit embarrassing. The answer is no to both. I guess, why? Why are you still pushing for this so much? Bruce, you and I know there's a universe filled with threats out there. I'm trying to protect humanity from them. So again, before you regret your answer, are you with me or not? Are you going to accept my bargain or not? Bruce shakes his head and says, I'll be here to protect humanity. Drop it, Ross. I'm done talking. As Bruce turns to head back inside, he watches Thaddeus Ross begins transforming into the Red Hulk. He grabs Bruce and screams in his face, I told you there would be regret if you made the wrong decision. So here it is. Regret. We watch as Red Hulk throws Bruce across the street as we slowly watch Bruce transform into the Hulk. He catches himself and says, Okay, Thaddeus, you might have copied me, but there is only one Hulk. We then watch Hulk and Red Hulk begin to fight. Red Hulk is filled with rage and easily overpowers the Hulk, who has lost some significant power since he was able to merge his consciousness with Banner. We see Fury, Hill, Helen, Amadeus, and Jen standing at the window watching the fight take place as both Red Hulk and Hulk jump away. So now there is a Red Hulk? What kind of world are we living in? You know, it is funny how so much has happened. We don't even bat an eye at the fact that there's another Hulk running around. I'm not too worried, though. Banner's capable, and he'll stop him. I'm not sure. The Hulk has lost a lot of his rage. He's still powerful, yes, but this Red Hulk appears to be using complete and utter rage. Bruce doesn't stand a chance. Jen sighs and looks at Amadeus. Okay, kid, I need that super suit. Crap! Amadeus cheers as he runs to his room as Jen looks down. We cut to downtown Washington, D.C. as we see Red Hulk completely tossing Hulk around. I told you, Bruce. You could have joined me or given me the alien, but instead you chose the path of most resistance. We see Red Hulk grab Hulk by the throat and holds him up. I told Betty I wouldn't kill you, but the rage has gotten to me and I've changed my mind. It's been nice knowing you, Bruce. As Red Hulk prepares to punch Hulk, suddenly he's kicked away as he goes flying down the street. We watch as She-Hulk lands and says, Oh my, Bruce, are you okay? Hulk is panting but looks up and says, "Fuzzball, we have to stop Ross." Ross? Oh wait, yeah, that checks out. We watch as Red Hulk begins charging at Hulk and She-Hulk as they team up to fight him. While She-Hulk is inexperienced, both her and Hulk's combined power is enough to overpower Red Hulk, who's beaten into the ground before screaming and jumping off. Hulk stops and looks around as he sees citizens screaming. Hulk begins to freak out, and he jumps away as She-Hulk screams for him to wait. Cut back to the White House as we see Thaddeus Ross in torn clothing storming to his bedroom as Val, Clive, and Betty follow him. He screams, "There are two Hulks now? How the heck is there a second Hulk? And more importantly, how am I supposed to get that darn creature if I have to fight my way through two of them to get it?" Betty grunts, "Dad, maybe there's a sign that you just need to stop. Maybe the world is better off if two Hulks are protecting it." "Betty, stop it. We need another Hulk to even the odds. I need to get another one somehow, some way. I need an experienced one, not another new one. More like a seasoned veteran." "Sir, with all due respect, that request is impossible. I don't know where you could be able to find another Hulk like that." Ross turns to Val. "Val, what is it that inmate at the raft was talking about? That O'Grady fellow said something about alternate realities." Val gulps. "Sir, Eric O'Grady told us that Hank Pym theorized that someone could potentially utilize a double-sided microversal entry point to communicate with someone from a different timeline. But the science is unproven. It was just a theory, and as you know, Hank is dead, and after Van Dyne fought those AIM people at her old building in New York, nobody's seen or heard from her." "Well, let's put this theory to the test, people. Maybe there is an alternate version of me out there who could even the odds. Heck, maybe I could even build an old army of Red Hulks to come and be by my side. Clive, can you get on it?" "Sir, I'm a doctor of science, yes, but the microverse, time travel, those theoretical concepts, they're far out of my wheelhouse of knowledge." "Pathetic. Well, find me someone who does, Val. You know a ton of experts. Get me one and build me an entry point." "Sir, Pym, Van Dyne, Starr, O'Grady, they're the only ones who we know knew how to build one. 3 of them are gone, and O'Grady is currently in our psych ward and is unreliable at best. But there is a local kid, Amadeus Cho. He's a son of Helen Cho, who's actually a friend of Bruce. He goes to Georgetown. The kid is a certified genius. He almost caused the physics and engineering department to go bankrupt because of how much money one of his experiments cost him to build. But it was a fantastic invention. His invention found a way to remove contaminants from water. It was able to be mass-produced in third-world countries, and, well, he's actually made an impact on the world." "Well, as much as I hate trusting my fate to a kid, if you think he has what it takes, I trust your judgment. Just get it done. Give him whatever he wants in exchange for his help. I want this done today." Come back to the Cho household as Jen is explaining to Fury, Hill, and Helen what happened. So the Red Hulk is Ross, and Bruce and I were able to work together to defeat him, but then he jumped away. He fled. I have no idea why or where he went. "Well, this isn't unusual for Banner. Do you know if he still has his phone on him? I can track him. Put in a call to an old friend who helps Bruce out when he gets in his own head." Jen nods. "Hey, kid, your material really worked. Thanks. Without it, I might have not been able to save Bruce's life." Amadeus walks out of the living room where he had been sitting with Doric. "You're welcome. It is cool that my design is able to be used in battle. Mom, I'm going out to grab another pizza. Doric is still hungry." Helen sighs. "Just be careful out there, and on the off chance you see Bruce, let us know." Amadeus nods as he leaves the house. We watch him as he walks down to a local pizza restaurant, and as he goes to open the door, a voice says, "Mr. Amadeus Cho?" Cho turns to look as we see Val smiling at him. "My name is Director Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I'm the director of the CIA. President Ross has requested that you help us out with a science project." Isn't President Ross a bad man? Didn't he just alter his DNA to try to kill Bruce?" "Oh, there is nothing substantive about that claim that President Ross attempted to kill Bruce. It's all media spin, darling. But the president did tell me that if you were to help us out in our little project, he would be willing to give you a small check of $1 million to ensure that you can build whatever contraptions and gadgets you like. Amadeus looks up and smiles. Wow, that's a lot of money. Sure, lady, I guess. When do I start? You start now. Come with me. We cut to the woods a few miles away from DC. We see Bruce sitting down with a blanket on top of him. He's been crying. Then he starts to have flashbacks to when the people were screaming at him during the battle with Red Hulk. He begins to cry. Cut inside Bruce's head as we see Hulk looking at Bruce. He says, I thought Hulk was not monster. Was here to protect human. You're not a monster, Hulk. We're not a monster. But no matter what we do, who we let in, who we save, they all still think we are a monster. Can save the world, save humanity, and all, but will still be seen as only a big, green, stupid monster. Hulk looks down. Hulk said, Hulk not want to be monster. I know. Cut back to Bruce sitting alone in the woods. He begins to cry again as a man walks up to him and says, Bruce? Bruce looks up and sees Doc Samson standing there. Bruce chokes out, Doc, how'd you find me? Fury sent me. Once again, he's worried about you, Bruce. We all are. Well, go away, Doc. I don't want to talk. Not this time. Not right now. Bruce, you've been my patient and my friend for years now. If you don't want to talk now, I'll sit with you until you do. Watch as Samson takes a seat next to Bruce and the two stare off into the distance. Cut back to the laboratory in the White House as Val leads President Ross and Betty down to the lab. They enter, we see that Amadeus has built a two-way microversal entry point. Clive is standing in amazement. Sir, this kid built this thing under 2 hours. He took some blueprints that we stole from Pym and Van Dyne, and it's not as complex as theirs, but it's sufficient. Good. Young man, explain to me how this contraption works. Well, sir, this is a simple device. You can communicate with anyone on the other side who built a contraption similar. But you can't do so until a connection is made, and I'm not even sure if it'll work. I'm not sure if anybody else has a microversal entry point quite like this that you can connect to. But if they do, you can connect to that universe and communicate with them. Now, I'm not sure about the ethics or the legitimacy of time travel and the whole alternate time travel timeline theory, but you might want to consider the impact of entering different realities, because although I don't really know much outside of a conceptual level, that's enough, kid. Thanks for your help. Val, give the young man his compensation and show him out of the room. He watches Val walks towards Amadeus and motions for him to leave. Now before handing him a check, as the two walk out of the laboratory together, Betty looks at her father. Are you sure you want to do this, Dad? You've no idea what could come out of the other side of that thing. Betty, if you don't know this about me yet, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to meet my goals in life. Clive, fire it up. Watch as Dr. Clive turns on the microversal entry point as President Ross steps up to the entrance and says, Hello out there. My name is President Thaddeus Ross. I am President of the United States, and I'm looking for me. Or, well, other versions of me. If you're out there, please connect so we can communicate. I have a very important task for us to complete. As Ross steps down, nothing happens until suddenly a light begins to emanate from the contraption, and a man exits the machine as all of the lights in the room flicker out. The man stands still and looks around the room. Ross stands up and says, Hello there. May I ask who you are and where you are from? The man is in shock. I can't believe it finally worked. The two-way microversal entry point. Oh, my name is Bruce. Bruce Banner. The man is revealed to be Bruce Banner, played by Nick Offerman, from a different world. Bruce Banner, as in the Hulk? I've not heard that name in such a long time. I've not been in that form in years, but yes, I am Bruce Banner, but not from your world, of a different world, a different time. Different time? Yes, I'm a variant, as you might call it, a term in the study of time travel that refers to a different version of someone from their timeline, except from a different one. Your timeline is designated as the 616 timeline, or the 616 world.
I am from the 9200 timeline. Well, I'm not going to worry about all of this time travel mumbo jumbo. I need help defeating the Hulk. Bruce, can you help me with that? Well, it depends on what my counterpart here's answer is. How he responds to my proposal, Thaddeus. Care to explain? I know all about you from my time, Thaddeus. You're a fickle man, hell-bent on world domination and destruction. In my world, you destroyed everything. Humans did. You helped them. They mostly died from radiation poisoning from all the nukes that were set off. All the heroes, dead because of the very same creatures we tried to protect. I'm here, Thaddeus, because in my view, humanity is the sole source of destruction in the world. I decided to take control of the remaining humans in my world and protect them from themselves. I want to warn Bruce about this. He needs to know that in order to use his gift to its fullest extent, he needs to take control of the world. I'm starting to think that you and our Bruce have an entirely different perspective on how humanity should function. I'm not liking this version of the Hulk. Clive, power back on the machine and send him back. Bruce walks around. I told you I will return to my world once I've spoken with this version of Bruce. And for the record, Ross, I no longer go by the name Hulk. I'm called Master, where I'm from. Or, well, Maestro, which is Italian for master. So if you think you can defeat humanity's master, go ahead. But if you can't, tell me where Bruce is. Ross clenches his jaw. I don't think you're going to like it when I force you back to your timeline. Bruce sighs. You know, Ross, I didn't want to kill you. It appears I'm going to have to be forced to. You're by far one of the greatest threats to humanity after all, so consider this our goodbye. We watch as Bruce begins to transform into Maestro. He is much larger and more powerful than the Hulk. As Ross begins transforming into Red Hulk, Maestro punches him out of the way, knocking him out cold. Dad! Screams Betty, as Maestro turns to her and looks down. Ah, Betty, you were my wife in my world, but now you're nothing more than a distraction. We watch Maestro slap Betty through the wall as he jumps out of the White House and screams, Give me Bruce Banner! As he begins rampaging around Washington, D.C. We see Amadeus return home with 3 boxes of pizza as Helen asks, Amadeus, it's been almost 3 hours. Where have you been? I had a friend get stuck. He had some car issues, so I went to help him out. Doric screams from the living room. What is this brilliant picture that is playing on the television machine? It is filled with destruction and rage. I love it! As we see Jen, Helen, Fury, and Hill run to the TV, we watch as footage of Maestro destroying downtown DC is playing. 4 Hulks! Screams Hill. Crap, crap, crap! Screams Jen. If anyone can get a hold of Bruce, please do. I have to go be a hero. As Jen runs out of the house, Amadeus looks at Doric. You know, I have an extra super suit in my closet. She might need your help. Cut back to the woods where we see Bruce and Samson sitting together gazing off into the distance. Bruce clears his throat. So, Doc, I know I'm not a monster. I have friends who know I'm not a monster. But the public, the people I try to protect, they still think I'm a monster. Bruce, what is leading to this thought from you? What's on your mind? Tell me. Well, it goes back to when I first became the Hulk. The people screamed when I saved them from the abomination. I went to find Betty for help before I fought the leader. And when I fought Ross, I've saved humanity so many times. They still fear me. Bruce, it's a natural reaction to see a giant green creature in the middle of the street to scream. I'm sure you would react the same way. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter how people react. It matters how you feel. People are thankful that you saved the world. Some people will be terrified of you no matter what. And some people will never give you the credit you deserve for what you did. But what matters is that your friends, your family, and you know what you did. You know that you saved the world. And no matter what people think, you know you're a hero. Bruce smiles. Thanks, Doc. But I do have something else bothering me. I'm weaker than I was. Figured things out, worked on myself, worked through things with the Hulk. But now, I'm not sure I could protect the world if I tried. I don't have the rage, the anger that I used to have. Bruce, maybe you don't need anger. I know what your father has caused you to feel for many years. Ross, even Thanos, how the death of Stark impacted you. But you can find strength, maybe not from those things that you hate, but from those who you care about. There can be two types of anger: anger from you being mad at the world that things aren't working out your way, or anger that the people you love, that you care about, and who care about you, that they're being hurt by the world. Bruce looks down as Samson looks at his phone. Bruce, I hate to interrupt our session, but the world does need you. Now. Samson shows Bruce a live broadcast of downtown Washington, D.C. as we see Maestro destroying buildings and causing chaos. Cut inside Bruce's head as he looks at Hulk and says, "Okay, buddy, I'm going to need you to get angry. Anger because the people of this planet that we are sworn to protect are getting hurt."
Angry? Angry Hulk is monster.
No, Angry Hulk is human. More human than any of the monsters who we have fought before. It is that humanity, that anger over things that we can't control, that makes you a hero. Hulk smiles and looks at Banner and says,
"Hulk, ready to smash."
We watch as Bruce transforms into Hulk, picks up Samson, and jumps away. We cut to downtown DC as Maestro is tearing through buildings screaming,
"Someone get me Bruce Banner!"
"Stop! Stop what you're doing!" We see She-Hulk standing nearby as Maestro stops and looks at her.
"Jen, my dear cousin, why it is odd to see you."
"I don't know who or what you are, but I'm not your cousin. I'm She-Hulk, and I'm going to stop you from destroying any more buildings." Maestro laughs.
"You and I never did rebuild our relationship, cousin. It's sad, but it makes me laugh now, thinking that you, out of anyone, could stop me. I fought gods, monsters, titans. You stand no chance of stopping me."
"Well then, I guess I'm going to give it my best shot." Watch as She-Hulk begins fighting Maestro. She stands no chance against Maestro, who easily overpowers her. He grabs her by the neck and begins punching her in the face repeatedly.
"I must say, cousin, you are a disappointment to the Hulk family. But it brings me joy knowing that I am the one who ended your life on this planet. Maybe then Bruce will show up."
Suddenly we watch as Doric flies in and tackles Maestro, carrying him away from She-Hulk as he screams,
"That woman protected me from those who wanted to harm me. I will not let her suffer a death most unfortunate."
As She-Hulk stands up, Doric flies back to her and says,
"Are you okay, my friend?"
She-Hulk smiles. "I am. We have a lot of fighting left, Doric. Come on." Doric smiles and screams,
"I am Prince Doric, Prince of the Skrulls, and I'll protect this Earth like the Marvel once protected mine."
We then watch as She-Hulk and Doric team up to fight Maestro. While the Super Skrull experiment did not work as planned on the prince, it did give him increased strength and the ability to fly. However, not even the combined might of She-Hulk and Doric are able to withstand Maestro. As he knocks both of them out, he laughs and screams,
"Is anyone going to step up to stop me, or has humanity accepted its fate?"
We watch as Hulk lands behind Maestro and says,
"I'm going to ask you to leave my cousin and friend alone. One time, and then it's over for you."
Maestro turns around and smiles.
"Bruce, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm you. From a different world." "Come again?" "Ross brought me from a different timeline here to help defeat you. Silly, I know, but I came to warn you. In my future, our future, humans destroy themselves, wipe themselves out. The very people we try to protect, those who we worked so hard to protect, they destroyed themselves. Everything you have done, everything you've been fighting for, it's all going to be wiped out by these humans. I know that we both decided to use these powers as a gift. So, I'm telling you, you need to take control of this world, use your gift to lead it, fix it. I'm Maestro. You are Hulk, but we both need to become Maestro." "What? You have it all wrong. We are human. We're equals with the people, but our gift, what we have, is something used to protect humanity. The anger we use, it's on behalf of humanity. We can use it to better humanity, something that I get the feeling you don't quite understand. So no, I'm Hulk, and I'm not gonna follow your lead, Maestro. Maestro laughs. Well, Hulk, I guess it is the end of the line for you. I will have to use but a portion of my strengths to fix 2 timelines. We then see Hulk become enraged as he and Maestro begin to fight. Hulk is more powerful since last time he fought, and he's able to keep back up with Maestro thanks to his increase in anger, tapped into by the fact that his friends and humanity has been hurt by Maestro. But Maestro is still more powerful than him, and as he flings Hulk into a building, Hulk tries to counter, but Maestro continues to beat him. You claim to be human? This is a perfect representation. Not knowing when to quit. Always thinking you are more capable than the simple creatures that you and humanity are. Suddenly, Maestro is punched from behind and goes flying as we see Red Hulk standing behind where Maestro was and helps up Hulk. Bruce, I'm sorry. This is my fault. I was doing what I thought I could to protect humanity, but instead I've become the monster. The very monster I thought you were all this time. Hulk looks at Red Hulk. You're only a monster if you allow yourself to become a monster. Maestro, he's a monster. But now, you and I have the ability to show that we're not monsters, but we're going to have to work together. Red Hulk nods as Maestro turns to both of them and laughs. Ah, Bruce and Thaddeus, it is going to be my delight to kill you both. Hulk and Red Hulk charge towards Maestro as the final battle begins. Maestro is powerful, but the combined might of Hulk and Red Hulk begin to become too much as Maestro falls to the ground. Hulk and Red Hulk jump up and both fall down with their fists next to each other as they smash Maestro into the ground, knocking him out and defeating him. We watch as Maestro slowly transforms back into Bruce. As Hulk stands up, panting, we hear cheers from people around him. They're clapping. They begin to chant, Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. He's our hero. He's the ever-loving Hulk. Red Hulk looks at Hulk. Bruce, I'm done hunting you down. I'm sorry. You can go. Hulk smiles as he walks over to pick up She-Hulk and Doric. He waves to the crowd as he jumps away. As Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire begins to play, we watch as Bruce Banner is transported back to his own reality and timeline by Ross and Val. See that Betty's in the hospital recovering from her injuries. We watch as Hill sees Fury take off and board a ship to return to space. Helen and Doc Samson are having a drink together in their home as Amadeus watches a press conference from President Ross on TV. He stands outside the White House and says, I'm not aware of the identity of the Red Hulk. But I do know the world and humanity is in safe hands thanks to the work of our Incredible Hulk. The crowd outside cheers as we cut to the outside of a wooden cabin in the woods. We see She-Hulk and Doric standing outside. She-Hulk looks at Doric. So, Doric, are you sure you're ready for this training? Doric smiles. Well, I need to be strong enough to protect my planet, and I don't think I could have asked for a better teacher. But also, please call me Hulkling. I think it's a much cooler name, and I think it suits what I'm about to do. She-Hulk smiles as Hulk walks out of the cabin and says, Okay, you two, welcome to Camp Hulk. I'm going to teach you both the ins and outs of becoming Hulks and using your powers to the best of your ability. Are you ready? Both She-Hulk and Hulkling smile and look at Hulk as they say in unison, Yes, Hulk! Hulk smiles as the screen cuts to black. Text pops up that reads, Hulk, She-Hulk, and Hulkling will return. We have 3 post-credit scenes. In the first post-credit scene, we see Doc Samson walking downstairs of the Cho household. He enters the underground lab and shuts the door. We see Amadeus is building something. Samson says, Hey Amadeus, what are you building here? Amadeus smiles. It's a gamma radiation chamber. I think it should help us learn more about gamma radiation and truly how it reacts when it meets someone. As we watch Amadeus attempt to screw something in, watch as a pipe bursts as gamma radiation begins leaking out. Suddenly we watch from the outside the lab as a giant green hand hits the window. In the second post-credit scene, we see Val walk into the Oval Office with President Ross sitting at his desk. You wanted to see me, sir? I promised Banner that I would not hunt him any longer, and I intend to be a man of my word, but the world needs protection, and we need soldiers to provide that protection. What do you have in mind? Do we still have that adamantium?
We do. Are you referring to Weapons X?
I am. Think it's time to start that project. The world needs a new super soldier.
In the third post-credit scene, we see She-Hulk sitting at a table across from an unknown person who is talking.
So then this huge bug guy flew at me, and this green chick with a sword started beating up these other bug guys. It was crazy.
See that She-Hulk is sitting across the table from The Thing, voiced by Jason Sudeikis. She-Hulk smiles awkwardly. So, Ben, you and my cousin are friends?
Oh yeah, we saved the world together. What's wrong? You barely touched your food.
Listen, Ben, you're a nice guy and all, but you're just not my type.
Darn, well, it's okay. I have a date with a girl named Alicia next week anyways. But hey, thanks for coming out. Tell Bruce I said hey.
She-Hulk smiles as she quickly gets up and walks away. And that is the Incredible Hulk, the Ever-Loving Hulks. I know that a lot of people have complained about the underutilization of Hulk in the actual MCU, so I hope that this has been a good sort of closing to Hulk, at least in terms of his own movie trilogy. Again, Hulk is not done in my rebooted MCU. We'll see him pop up more in this saga, but this is the last of his own center movies, and I hope that you all feel that Hulk had a good arc and had a worthy conclusion of a character as important as him. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next week for the next installment of Rebooted MCU. Take care.